Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. On this channel we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you're in the right place and we're so happy to have you here. Now, this is Saturday where we just talk about things that we found interesting, and today, however, we have to talk about the gift that keeps on giving, this Scream 7 news. And this particular Scream 7 news has to do with Stu Macher's return. Matthew Lillard was at an event and was speaking to the audience, and he said some things that are making people have a lot of different theories, and even saying that what he said was a major hint as to how his character comes back. So we're going to break it down and let you know what we think about it all. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so we have to talk a little bit about Scream 7 once again. And this time it does involve Stu Macher yet again, and it involves him in a really weird way. Because when him and Skeet Ulrich were at this MegaCon in Orlando, Florida, we actually got to see them talking to the audience. And Matthew Lillard was teasing the audience, but a lot of people have begun to speculate that what he said is in fact some major hint as to what's going to happen in the movie. Now, I don't know about this at all, but we're going to break down what he said and why this could be important, but also why it might just be him making a joke. Because ultimately, we know how Matthew Lillard is. He could have just been making some joke, teasing the audience in true Matthew Lillard fashion. But let's look at what he said, why people are probably thinking it's important, and then I'll tell you what I think. So this is what Matthew Lillard had to say. He said, "You guys want to hear everything? I come back as the fairy godmother. It's going to slay. Am I coming back? I don't know if I could answer that. I don't actually have a good answer. It's so funny. I've been asked this question literally 1,000 times a day since the first movie ended, if I'm coming back. I'm happy to report that I am." So that's what he said, and people are saying that it is some sort of secret code, that they don't know if he should have said this, but he said it. And it's a direct hint to how he's coming back. So the narrative that people are running with here is that he is going to be some kind of fairy godmother. But you have to not take that as literal, because in fact, what they're saying is that it tells you how he came back. Maybe someone has wished him back. Perhaps this leans into that AI sort of mentality in people's minds, that he's coming back but he isn't really there. Perhaps it's someone that is seeing him the way that Sam saw her dad. This could very well be the thing. But I don't think that they would rinse and repeat that. I really don't. I don't see them taking Stu Macher and making him the mirror image for someone to look at, or someone that's just there sitting beside them, guiding them to do these things. I don't think that works a second time. They did it with Billy Loomis, who, it worked for that character. But it doesn't really work for Stu Macher. It doesn't work for him because we can't just rinse and repeat what we saw. So when you're looking at it, what could this mean that he is coming back as some fairy godmother? Why is this the narrative people are going with? There's all sorts of reasons they could, and people don't really know, so all they're doing is speculating and saying all these crazy things, like Stu Macher is some mirror image of someone that is doing this stuff, that he is going to be talking to them, he's coming back as a ghost type of figure in someone's head, sort of their imagination, much the way Billy Loomis was in Scream 5 and 6. And I don't see that as being something that happens. I don't see that as being something that they will do. Which begs the question, what do I think he meant by that? Well, I think what he meant by that is one of two things. He could have literally meant that it's sort of leaning into the plot like an AI type of thing, like we've been told over and over that this is going to rely heavily on AI and all that. So why not make that a thing? And of course, at the head of that, you want a Stu Macher story. You want to have something to do with him. And I think that would be really cool, because then you're sort of taking him as one of the OG killers from the first movie and setting him up to look like the bad guy only to find that it's AI. He could have meant that. He could have meant that very easily. However, here's the other alternative. And this is the more sort of crazy one, depending upon how you look at the Stu Macher scenario, whether or not you see him as being alive or not. It could in fact be that he's not talking about the movie in this instance at all. He could in fact just be talking to us, the fans, saying, hey, I'm coming back as the fairy godmother this time. It's going to slay. Because fans have wanted him to come back over and over again. In fact, that's the next thing he says, is that he's constantly getting asked whether or not he's coming back into the franchise. So I don't think we should read into it as it's a major part of the plot or some secret clue as to whether or not he's going to be this or that. I don't think we need to read into that at all. Because I honestly think that when he said that, he was talking to us, the audience, saying, hey, I know you guys have wanted me back. You guys have literally asked me every single time a new Scream movie came out if I was going to be in it. He even goes on to say, I'm happy to report that I am. So he is saying, hey, I am in this movie, which we already knew. So he didn't tell us anything new there. It's kind of like he was talking to the fans. And I think all these other people that are trying to run with this narrative that it was some major secret hint as to how his character is going to come back, I think they're absolutely wrong. Now, you can read it both ways, because yeah, however he comes back, if he does come back as part of an AI generated thing that plays into it, yeah, you could look at that as a fairy godmother type of thing if you wanted. And on the off chance they do use the whole Stu Macher as influencing someone in their imagination, the way Billy Loomis did, then yeah, you could go that route too. You could say that he is the fairy godmother to the person that is actually one of the main killers in the movie. And you could go that route. But more than likely, I honestly do think it's just him talking to us. Because fans have asked him for so long if he wanted to come back, it's not that he is coming back as a fairy godmother, but he is our fairy godmother, essentially. Giving us our wish, granting our wish that he comes back and is part of this movie. I think that's what he's talking about, honestly. And when you look at it that way, doesn't that make more sense than to try to play it off as though it's some sort of major clue? Now, of course, I could be 1000% wrong. He could legitimately be telling us the absolute golden truth and come back as some sort of fairy godmother. I hope they don't go that route. I mean, what is this, Once Upon a Time? Basically, I think that he's probably talking to us, the audience. However, as always, I want to know what you guys think about this scenario. Does this whole appearance that they did together make you more excited for the movie or less excited? Does the fact that he's still being very cryptic excite you? Do you think that it's going to be a situation where he is sort of in someone's head? Do you think that it's going to be a situation where he is some sort of AI? Or do you tend to believe kind of more in tune to what I believe. That he wasn't talking about the movie at all when he said that. That he was indeed just talking to us, the audience, saying, hey, I am granting your wish and giving you what you want. As always, we want to know what you guys think. So make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. And don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're definitely going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. And then make sure you're hitting that like button. It helps the channel and we really appreciate it. And then Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it. You know it. And Miko knows it. Fandom is family.